So I guess from your display, it's obviously the pressure's really getting to you. You're just completely intimidated.
Yeah, this is crazy. I don't know what I'm getting into. No, yeah, I feel great. I feel really good. You guys, everybody in the media has been really great to me. So making this process really easy.
Yeah. How has the whole week panned out? I mean, the whole thing. Did you have visions in your head of what it was going to be like, and has it played out the way you saw it, or has it just been totally new?
No, actually at first I thought, man, doing the media stuff, getting in front of the camera, all that stuff. I had my concerns about it, but I think after my first interview on Fox Sports 1, I was like, this is easy. You just got to be yourself, So I've had fun with it. So I'm enjoying the ride.
Yeah. A lot of us look at this for you as kind of one of those no-lose type situations. Is that true? I mean, is there a real no-lose situation where no matter what the outcome is, you're still a winner? Or do you feel like, no, I could go in there and have a really bad night and it'd be terrible?
That's not my mindset at all. There's definitely a lose situation. I come in here expecting to get the win, and that's the win I want. No matter how it comes, that's my ultimate goal coming in here is getting the win. I would have never called out Daniel and said, hey, let's have a fight, if I didn't truly believe that I could win.
Yeah, and Daniel did say he had a little concern with what you said, some of the comments he said. He thought maybe, didn't say cheap shot, but he thought, there were some personal things that were going on that you knew about that you wish, that he wishes maybe you would have left it alone. Do you have any regrets at all that maybe you took it a little too far?
No, I think that's a business. We need to come out here and we're getting in a fight. I mean, that's about as raw as it gets. So whatever leading up to that is, I feel like it's pretty fair game.
You took this obviously on very short notice. How's the weight cut going for you?
Oh, great. I feel good. I needed something to eat while I was coming into this workout. So my weight's pretty good. No worries there.
And have you taken a look at the odds, or what are your thoughts on?
Somebody told me the odds are pretty crazy.
Yeah, they have you at -885, I believe.
Okay. No, 15 to 1.
Okay.
Oh, 15 to 1. I like that better. So place your bets.
Will you bet yourself?
Okay. I would love to. Yeah. I just don't have any money. Yeah. No, I'm an underdog kind of guy. That's my background. So I'm coming into everything as the underdog, and I'm always surprising people. So I'm looking forward to it. I feel comfortable there.
With the short notice, taking the fight on short notice, have you ever done anything like that before? Because this is huge.
Well, our philosophy is just because it was so difficult to get fights, we just said we're always going to be trained to be ready for this type of situation. However far-fetched it was, that was in our game plan. So I've been training hard. I mean, obviously, you take your breaks when you need it. You get banged up here and there, but I mean, I feel like I've been through a camp myself. That's not the issue. And I think just an overall, living a healthy lifestyle and just having that hunger for this opportunity. That's all I need.
Hey, Pat.
Concern being that you haven't fought since 2013, that maybe you're going to be a little rusty, plus the jitters on top of that, all of it compiled, it might affect you. You think that might happen?
Yeah, I mean, there's always that component, But I think I've been in front of a crowd, like this, similar to this, plenty of times, and I've usually performed pretty well. So, I mean, yeah, the time off for sure, but we've been training hard. We've been putting ourselves in scenarios to make it like competition. So I'm not worried about it. And even if I have a couple jitters, if I get nervous and maybe lose my breath here or there, I still think I'm better off than Daniel coming down from so much weight and just his history of kind of being that guy that likes to take a break here and there.
Do you feel like you have an advantage knowing him, worked with him before?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously I haven't trained MMA with him, but I know the guy. I know the guy pretty well, and I feel like I can exploit his weaknesses pretty easily.
Hey, Pat, has your former employer at all contacted you after all the attention they've received?
Yeah, they have it. They've been great. I told I told them there's no hard feelings. That's kind of the way it goes. And I also thanked them for the opportunity to work for them, because without them, I would be who knows what I'd be doing right now. You know, I was about as broke as you could get. So, no hard feelings.
I understand that you started training MMA about 4 years ago. What was the transition like for you coming from a wrestling background, and where kind of level do you think you're at right now?
The transition came pretty easily. You know, at first, I never really had thoughts of getting into this. A couple guys I knew from school and from after school training wrestling were getting into it. They had me come out to work out with them, just, you know, keep their wrestling sharp when I was still competing wrestling at the time. And, you know, here and there they'd say, oh, why don't you go with the boxing coach here? Why don't you go with our Muay Thai guy? And it all came really, really easily to me. And I felt like the transition was really easy. And then at a certain point, I looked back on everything and just said, you know, I really think this could be for me. You know, and at first I didn't, but I was like, man, this could be for me. And then once I made up my mind, I invested it, you know, all the way in and said, this is what I'm going to do. And when I make up my mind to do something, it's a pretty tough thing to stop or to get in the way of.
A lot of people are very curious about the shirt, the Dirk in here.
yeah.
I did some reading, found out that that's your middle name.
That is, yeah.
And is that also the nickname? And can you explain this whole character there? You got your
This
shirt
is me.
representing
Come on, it's
you.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just think it's fun. Durkin was a name that I kind of got picked on for when I was a kid. It's my middle name, and you know, some of you guys have probably never heard of that before. And you know, I hated it growing up, just because of that. And then, you know, slowly I kind of was like, you know, I really like this. It's different. And I think too, you know, I come in here with like some name like the Destroyer or whatever. You know, I think that's kind of lame. You know, I want to continue being different.
Is that a family name?
It is, yeah.
Win or lose, do you have a post-fight plan? Did the UFC talk to you about your options? Win or lose? Obviously, if you win.
Yeah. We signed a multi-fight deal with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to be in the light heavyweight. You're not going anywhere for a few
Yeah.
fights at least.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'm here to stay.
Why would you have wrestled at in the 265 and then, you know, do MMA at 205? It would seem like a pretty tough cut. You lose a lot on your.
You know what? Actually, it was tougher to stay at heavyweight. I think, you know, 220, 225 is my natural weight, and all through college, just because, you know, it's where they needed me. My older brother was wrestled 197, so it was kind of like, hey, you know, you're gonna wrestle off with your older brother, or you gonna make some changes. So I went up to heavyweight, and you know, I put a lot of work into it. And over 5 years, I put on 50 pounds, and it was hard. It's hard to keep on. After I stayed at heavyweight for another 4 years internationally, and then as soon as I was on my way out of wrestling, I said, you know, I just need a break from eating. It's too hard. So as soon as I did that, I kind of came back down to my normal weight, and I just thought, you know, going to heavyweight would just be crazy. So.
You know, I've heard boxers that have moved up. You know, Manny Pacquiao comes to mind, where he had to eat 9,000 calories a day to maintain 140 something. Like,
Yeah.
what were you at to try to, since your weight would be normally 220, to get to 250 or 260? Like, how much were you eating a day to maintain that?
Yeah. Okay, I'll put it in perspective. In college, I would eat breakfast, work out, go to the dining hall, and dining hall's like, eat all you can eat, and I would be like full, like totally full every time I went in there. So I would eat breakfast, I would have a protein shake or whatever as a snack. Then I'd go to lunch, eat everything I could, and just like barely struggle to get out of there, and go work out in the afternoon, have dinner, same thing, and just like I couldn't even put a number on it, but it was basically as much as I could eat without throwing up.
And so you got a chance to feel the power of heavyweights, you know, and the explosiveness they had compared to now in MMA, the explosiveness of 205 pounders. Mm-hmm. What is the difference, and do you feel that in any way makes you more ready to, you know, if you get clipped on the chin by a 205er on Saturday night, to take it compared to, you know, if it had been a heavyweight?
Well, I think more importantly, I know what it's like to come from heavyweight down to 205, and it took quite an adjustment. You know, you don't have that horsepower behind you, and you kind of have to be a little slicker with what you're doing. You know, you gotta really employ that technique, and I think, you know, it's going to be a shock to Daniel's system. You know, yeah, he's dealing with bigger guys, but he's not going to be as fast anymore, and he's not going to have that, you know, as much behind what he's doing. So I think that's more of a realistic view of that scene.
Daniel told us earlier that you have shifty eyes, and that means you're not ready for this fight.
Shifty eyes.
Shifty eyes. What do you think of that?
I don't know. I don't really know what that means. I don't really know what the wrestling code is either. So I don't know. He seems to have all these ideas that I don't know anything about. But
he said he's going to come at you as soon as the bell and break you down. Do you think that's a good strategy? You know, with
for him
dropping down. Do you think that's a good strategy? To come in right out and try to break you in the first round?
No, because he's just going to tire out.
Yeah.
He's going to waste all that energy right up front, and I mean that's exactly what I want him to do.
How rare is it for a walk-on to become an All-American? Does it happen occasionally, or is it like extremely rare circumstance?
You know, I'm not sure. I think I've known of a couple other guys to do it, but yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty rare thing, because you just, you know, you coming in as a walk-on, you have a bunch of other guys, you know, your blue chip recruits getting the attention, and it's kind of, you just need to have that grind mentality, like, okay, I'm just gonna get to work and hope I get the attention at some point, and you know, get that little extra edge I need. So I'm not sure how often it happens, but you know, I can tell you it was pretty difficult.
Would this be the first time for a fight you've ever walked out first? Probably, right?
Yeah, I think so, actually. Yeah. But
Kind of like the way this played out. I mean, you're 4-0. By all regards, you've kind of leapfrogged a lot of people, but this 10-day window, you don't really have time to think about it. It's like, all right, your first interview's on Fox Sports, not here with us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everything has been big time for you, and you really don't have time to think about it. So you kind of like that?
yeah, I think so too. I think overthinking a situation is a big deal, especially in this game. You know, you have what, 8-12 weeks to think about your opponent and, you know, overanalyze everything. So I think, yeah, I mean, 9 days is perfect.
Especially given the stakes. It's a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
You mentioned you didn't know about this so-called wrestler's code, so you haven't been hearing from wrestlers like, hey, what are you doing?
No, I haven't. Yeah, the wrestling community hasn't had a big outcry on the wrestling code thing, but.
Were you surprised to hear that from him, that, you know, you're breaking this huge code that you didn't even really know existed?
A little bit, but I think it was just kind of him backpedaling and not, you know, I don't really know what to say here, but I'm gonna come up with something.
What was your specialty as far as making coffee? What was the best thing that you made?
I tell everybody that the heart latte was my specialty, but I don't know. I've only made a couple of those. So. I was more of like the face in the window, in the drive-through window, greeting all the ladies.
What was the secret to the croissants being so flaky and brown?
Well, that's the other thing. I was the baker, so I had a little, you know, a hand in all that stuff.
Have you talked to Starbucks about sponsoring you? It'd be great to have Starbucks.
Yeah, that would be great. That's a great idea. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Cool. Everybody good?
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.